Well, hello everybody and welcome to the show arena here at the Defiance County Fairgrounds. On this Saturday night opening day of the 2026 Defiance County Fair, as we are getting ready to bring you live coverage of the 2026 Beef Show here on the HIX-TV YouTube channel. Hi everybody, I'm Bill Murphy with Hicksville Community Television. I know I'm a little bit windblown, a little bit frazzled. We had some heavy weather earlier in Hicksville, in the Hicksville area this evening, but things have calmed down. We're looking at what we hope will be decent weather for the remainder of this evening. And we're going to be showing you a lot of steers this evening. As a matter of fact, I've just been handed the agenda for this evening. And we'll run through that coming up shortly. I'm here with Chris Warner. He's going to be helping me here in the grandstand. And we're going to bring you all of the coverage of the judging and the awarding of honors for the Beef Show here at the show arena this evening. The first of a number of live streams we're going to be doing from here at the show arena on the Junior Fair side of the Defiance County Fair, as well as a few Senior Fair events for 2026 as well. I want to, before we go anywhere else, thank a number of people for making our coverage possible this evening. They include our underwriters here on Hicksville Community Television. A big thank you to the Defiance County 4-H Board. Also a big thank you to the Fat Pig Restaurant in downtown Hicksville. And the Defiance, the Hicksville Rotary Club that is also underwriting our coverage here this evening. We also want to say a big thank you to Current Office Solutions, providing the printing that is being done at the judging stand. Also SMTA for their awesome internet that we are taking advantage of to bring you the live stream coverage here this evening. And also Brittany Ashton AC Livestock Services. She is the Junior Fair meal sponsor for this event. So we're getting underway right now. I'm going to step aside. I'll be back a little bit later. We'll talk more about our underwriters. Actually, we've got maybe a couple things to give away as we go through this evening. But we're going to flip the camera around and we're going to go down to the arena floor to get the Beef Show underway. We're going to get started with the Showmanship Awards. It'll be senior, intermediate, junior, and beginner showmanship for both the regular beef, then dairy beef, and then overall beef showmanship to get things started. So with that, let's go down to the floor and we'll be keeping up to date. Thank you for joining us throughout the evening right here on the HIX-TV YouTube channel.
Please give a round of applause for our judge tonight.
Well, a nice way to get started here, our senior showmanship, and honestly a little difficult because each of the cattle in here really don't want to act the best for the young people, but young lady's bigger heifer here on the side, that one honestly just cooperated the best out of this particular group. When they first initially hit the ring, she got the heifer stuck. She got it presented very highly. I thought from start to finish was just the most consistent job of getting that heifer presented to a high degree. Young lady that's going to be second here with the younger calf. Again, another one not one to act the best, not one to just give the young exhibitor the best opportunity or best look out here, but you can tell that honestly both the young kids coming next know what they're doing and know how to show just their behavior in a better form. Like I said, similar story with the young lady that's going to run this out. Obviously, she knows how to show her calf. Just give her a little bit tougher of a time. But if you guys would, let's put our hands together for these kids and nice group to start us off.
The 2026 Beef Senior Showmanship winner is Tasha Price. Now entering the ring is Beef Intermediate Showmanship. The plaque for the Beef Senior Showmanship was sponsored by Brian and Rachel Edson family. In the hall is Beef Junior Showmanship, Carter Franks, Amelia Hunt, Jacob Zayer, Cole Schindler, Madison Stroud, Grant Stuckey, Natalie Schroeder, and Raymond Vetter. On deck we have Beef Beginner Showmanship, Olivia Knight, Carissa Mosier, and Olivia Smith.
As long as you don't stand up and wave your hands over your head.
Like this?
Yeah, everybody saw you now. You've been global.
There you go. Yeah, you're fine.
At least last time. I think he's nasty. So Friday night,
Another good group of kids. Again, just a bunch of feeder calves out here. It's going to be very difficult this early in the summer getting these things shown to a high degree. But I think a number of these kids do a really good job of getting these cattle presented. I thought just consistency-wise, the young man did the best job of getting the most out of that calf. Does a good job of getting that calf set up how he's supposed to. Good job with his eye contact. Very aware of what it is in the ring. I thought just a nice place to start. Young lady staff gave her a little bit more trouble than young man we started off with, and I think that's why she ended up second. Very obvious she knows what she's doing in terms of getting that calf stuck, and she does a great job. Was probably not as efficient as a kid that we lead us off with, but still a very nice job. Young lady coming next with the red steer, again, does a good job. At times he was wanting to give her a little bit of a tough time, but stuck with it. A bunch of these kids down through the line, can tell that they know what they're doing. Just again, young feeder calves. It makes it hard for them to get that stuff to their highest degree. Young man coming next did a good job. At times that calf was going to be just a little offset in terms of the way he was set. Similar story with the young lady running us out with the hooker heifer. Did a good job with her eye contact. At times that one want to be a little off just in terms of how she was set up. But a good class, again, that's what it needs to go for those kids.
Your 2026 Deep Intermediate Championship winner is Levi Mavis. In the exact is sponsored by Megan Wallace. Now entering the ring is the Junior Showmanship. Parker Kreitz, Amelia Hearn, Jacob Saylor, Cole Schindler, Madison Sprout, Grant Stubby, Natalie Troyer, and Rayla Better. On deck, we have the Beginner Showmanship, Olivia Knight, Carissa Moser, Olivia Zero. In the hole, we have Derry Beach Senior Showmanship, Renee Bach, Ethan Guilford, Sammy Mavis, Olivia Schindler, Peyton Sierra, and Ike Webb.
Live stream.
I already had somebody text us from Germany saying, "Hey, who's the hot grandma that was just on screen?"
I bet they did. They want my autograph. Why would you say grandma, really?
Because I thought it would sound better than the hot senior.
Chocolate.
Maybe if we have a break between football, volleyball, and basketball. weekend or whatever.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah. Start playing with it. Yeah. No, you want to start looking into it now.
I already know how to do it.
So like, so maybe we can see if we can come up with something. Do a trial run. Maybe like a basketball scrimmage or whatever. So it's get Connor in on it too. Maybe even Brian sitting softball to learn to see.
But one of us can be back in the studio.
Yeah. Like I said, so we got a couple of kids that would love to do a halftime show. They'll take it to the studio or whatever. So what we gotta do.
Their camera on.
Jim, the studio, will be our TriCast.
Yeah, at that point, then we are going to have to look in.
Oh, yeah, that would have to be. There might be a redo the TriCast and the other stuff. The school just pays for the mic.
Because I've already seen you and I both know how to do like going the house.
A lot of hospitals. School's going to go on it right now. So, strike while the iron's hot.
Kudos to all these kids for sticking with it. Must be something in the air tonight. Cattle are feeling pretty good and want to get out here and play. Young man's did a nice job here from start to finish. I thought consistency-wise and getting the heifer just presented and getting her stuck, very aware of where I'm at in the ring. I thought just a fine place to start. Young man did a nice job. Fair lady coming next with the blue roan steer. I thought second most just consistent in getting that calf set up. Did an awesome job getting that calf presented. He behaved real well for. Obviously did a ton of work with him at home. I thought just not quite as efficient in getting that calf presented as the young man that we started off with. Young lady that's going to come next, I think just natural ability, probably as good as any of them. Another one that her partner was not wanting to cooperate the best. Started off really well there in that last kind of circle where we're getting them set up. Cap just getting a little antsy, getting her kind of out of the mix there, but the young lady does an awesome job. Young man coming next, another young exhibitor does a fine job, gets that cap presented, very good with his eye contact. At times that will be just a little off in terms of the way he's set up, but still does an awesome job. Young man with the short one-month cap coming next, another next two exhibitors do a really good job. Both of them at times in cattle will just be set up just a little backwards, but doing a nice job. Young man with the red and white cap coming next, again another cap that's really not wanting to cooperate the best for him, but he's stuck with it. He does an awesome job, great with his eye contact. Then the young lady that's going to round us out, again, can tell very easily this young lady knows how to show. Unfortunately, just her partner is not wanting to cooperate the best with her. But kudos to her for sticking with it. Let's give all those kids a big round of applause.
The 2026 Beef Junior Championship winner goes to Paul Schindler. He will be receiving a flag sponsored by the Travis Riles family. In the reserve Beef Junior Championship is Brandon Vetter. Now entering the ring is Beef Beginner Showmanship, Olivia Knight, Carissa Moser, and Olivia Sinette. On deck, we have Dairy Beef Beginner
I didn't see those.
Renee Block, Ethan Governor, Sammy Davis, Olivia Schiller, Clayton Sierra, and Nicola. On deck, we have Dairy Beef
Screen printing on like windbreakers,
Sarah Block, Tegan Colbert, Chase Stewart, Shannon Schiller, Graham Schiller, and Olivia Schiller.
Instead of trying to sew, because you sew on it, they're in the water, but the screen print, I thought we were going to allow that. So you didn't see anything for the seeds, but then they had the material. It was like, yeah, the one in red and black. Because yeah, it showed me, I think we can look right here about that big. Really nice. I was happy with that. check with Brian because Brian got a 2X. I gave him the black one with the red stripe and the red one like this. And he was like, I don't want to ever wear that red, but it looks like an Ohio State shirt. Okay. If he doesn't want it, I'll see if he'll give it to me. I'll give it to you.
You guys didn't order me any?
Well, because I thought you were going to be gone.
Oh,
So I didn't.
yeah.
Which is why I said, once we get things get settled down, if you're going to be able to be around and help us out more, I'll put it in that, I'll add it to the order and get you some new apparel too.
I don't have any of our stuff anymore.
It's because I'll include that. But I mean, I didn't see the point of getting you 2 shirts for 2 weeks and then you go to Sioux City, Iowa. No, I don't got anything to give you apparel. Just want to make sure you're around to wear it.
Yeah.
Another good class. Beginner showing a little tough. Again, the cattle is not one to be calling to them out here, but kudos to all 3 kids for sticking with it. Young lady with the Hereford heifer, I think, kind of just by default is staying the most out of the way. Still does an awesome job of getting that calf shown. Can tell she's putting a ton of work at home. I think a nice place to start. Young lady's heifer again came in, acted really well, and then just got a little fired up. But that's all right. Stick with it. Keep up the good work. I mean, both of you kids are going to be fine. Just on down the line, just wish you guys' calves would act a little bit better for you. Good job. Keep up the good work. Let's put our hands together for all those kids.
The Champions League Beginner Showmanship is Olivia Zero. She's receiving a plaque sponsored by the Farmer Agriculturist 4-H Club. Now entering the ring, Dairy Beef Senior Showmanship. Renee Black, Ethan Gifford, Sammy Davis, Olivia Schindler, Clayton Sierra, and Ike Webb. On deck, we need Dairy Beef Intermediate Showmanship. Sarah Locke, Tegan Colbert, Trace Foley, Cameron Schroeder, Aaron Schroeder, and Grace Schroeder. And in the bowl, we need
really good class. Deep class of showmen as well. I think 4, 5, 6 down the line, all doing an awesome job. I think just in terms of from start to finish, getting the cap presented to a high degree, combining a lot of good things, I think, in one package. Young lady does an awesome job of getting this cap shown. Eye contact, presence, getting that cap shown to a very high degree. Young lady that's coming second, I thought it was very close between the pair. Awesome in terms of eye contact, very aware of kind of what's going on in the ring. Awesome in getting that cap set up. At times, I just not think quite as efficient in getting that cap stopped and set up as our class winner, partly because the cap wanted to just push her around just a tick there at the end. Young man coming next does an awesome job. At times, that cap will just get your tail up there in the air a little bit, gets his cap presented to a very high degree. I think when it's that close there on the top end, you just get a little critical, and that cap just at times wanting to hold his tail up, which we get that put down. Young lady coming next with the big steer, again, does an awesome job. At times that cap will be set up just a little more square than ideal, but still does a really good job. And the two young men that are going to round us out both do a fine job. Their cattle just at times want to not cooperate with them the best, but if you guys would can, let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
Your 2026 Dairy Beef Senior Championship winner is Olivia Shea. Renee Bach is reserved. And there is a plaque sponsored by Brian and Rachel Alexander family. Now entering the ring, Dairy Beef Intermediate Championship. Sarah Black, Tegan Holyfield, Chase Foley, Cannon Schroeder, Graham Schroeder, Oakley Schroeder, Eliza Webb, and Owen Yoder. On deck, we need Dairy Beef Junior Championship, Eric Johnston. And in the hole, we need Dairy Beef Beginner Championship, Vader Schroeder and Elizabeth Sanger.
People stand up a little bit.
Really good group of kids. I think a deep set of them all the way down the line. with that being said, young lady is going to start us out. I think Wynn's so rather handily for me. She does an awesome job just from start to finish. I think first impression wise, definitely hits you like she knows what she's doing. Gets that cap in, gets it presented and stuck right away. And then from there on out, I think just further kind of separates herself from the pack. I think a really nice place to start. The young lady with the brown Swiss that's going to come next, I think in terms of eye contact, in terms of getting that cap presented, does an awesome job. At times, I kept want to fight with her a little bit, just kind of shake and get a little latency, but still does an awesome job. Two young exhibitors kind of come around next at the same time. I thought both of them did an awesome job in terms of eye contact. Both of them very aware of what's going on. At times, their cattle just want to be a little off in terms of the way they're set up, but still do a really good job. Two young men coming next, very similar story. Eye contact, all that's very good. At times, one could be just a tick out of line. The cattle wanting to fight up just a nickel more than those kids ahead of them. Then the two young kids that are going around us out, both of them do a good job. At times, those cattle get a nickel out of line, a little off just in terms of the way they're set up. But another good group. Let's give them all a big round of applause.
Your 2026 Dairy Beef Intermediate Championship winner is Eliza Way. Reserve is Sarah Robb. The plaque is sponsored by Farmer Agricultural Storage Club. Now entering the ring at Dairy Beef Junior Championship, Eric Johnston. On deck, we need Dairy Beef Beginner Championship, Vader Schroeder and Elizabeth Seaberg. In the hole, we need Beef Senior Championship, Tasha Price, and Dairy Beef Senior Championship, Olivia Sherman.
All the other kids knew Eric was so good they just didn't want to come show their cat. Young man does an awesome job. Done a lot of work this summer with this cat. Let's give him a big round of applause as he exits the ring.
Congrats to your Dairy Beef Junior Championship winner, Eric Johnson. Now entering the ring, we have Dairy Beef Beginner Championship, Vader Schroeder and Elizabeth Seaberg. The Dairy Beef Junior Championship plaque is sponsored by Ethan and Caitlin Hearn. On deck, we need Senior Beef Championship Tasha Price and Senior Dairy Championship Olivia Schindler. In the hole, we need Beef Intermediate Championship Eli Davis and Dairy Beef Intermediate Championship Eliza Webb.
They always show us they've been showing, so I
Two young kids doing an awesome job getting their cattle presented. A young lady we're going to use to start off with. She hangs onto that thing and hangs on to him well. Cat knows who the boss is, and she does an awesome job. Once they get stopped getting them presented, does an awesome job. I think got a very, very bright future. Young lady again does a great job as well getting that cat presented. At times it'll be just a little more awkward in the way he's set up in comparison to our classroom, but great with eye contact. Keep up the good work. Let's give those kids a big round of applause.
Your 2026 champion Dairy Beef Beginner Showmanship goes to Baby Schroeder. The plaque is sponsored by John and Gina Henry. Now entering the ring is for the overall senior showmanship. In the hole, we have beef intermediate showmanship, Levi Mavis, and dairy beef intermediate showmanship, Eliza White. In the hole, we have beef junior showmanship, Cole Schindler, and dairy beef junior showmanship, Johnson.
Two senior winners in both divisions. I think any of the young kids that are in those younger divisions, take a look at what these young girls do, and ask them some questions about how to get better. Because both of them do a very, very good job. It's really fun to watch. I think you guys can tell. I think it's really close between a pair of them. I think it is splitting hairs. I think one, for me, just a little more consistent, a little more efficient at getting stuff done. But again, let's put our hands together for these two kids. How about so
Your 2026 champion senior showman overall was Natasha Price. Now entering the ring, we have beef intermediate showmanship winner Levi Mavis and Eliza Webb. On deck, we have beef junior showmanship winner Cole Schindler and the dairy beef junior showmanship Eric Johnson. In the hole, we have beef beginner showmanship Olivia Zidek and dairy beef beginner showmanship Beta Schroeder. The overall senior beef dairy showmanship acrylic winner was donated by the Defiance Police Officers Association.
Another really good set here. Two young kids did an awesome job of getting our cattle presented. I think very similarly to our senior division. I think very minor differences between the two, and either of them could show up to me either day and do an awesome job, get their cattle presented to a very high degree. I think similarly to our seniors, I think one for me, just consistency-wise, just gets it done just a tick more, from start to finish completely. But still, I think both do a very, very high-quality job. Young lady up front is going to be our champion. Congratulations.
Your 2026 champion intermediate showman overall is Eliza Roy. She's receiving a plaque sponsored by James and Jackie Singer family. Now entering the ring is Beef Junior Showmanship Cole Schindler and Dairy Beef Junior Showmanship Eric Johnston.
I'm gonna get out of my route.
On deck, we need Beef Beginner Showmanship Olivia Zedike and Dairy Beef Beginner Showmanship Vanna Schroeder. PV Showmanship Class 1 in the hole. Dalton Mick, Denton Mick, Audrey Sprout, Justin Troyer, Eva Mangus, Brantley Grant.
I think two young men do an awesome job getting their cattle presented. I think it is very close between the pair of them. I thought the young man with the yellow heifer, I think just from start to finish, in terms of getting that heifer presented and getting it stuck efficiently, was just a little bit quicker than our young dog up front. He's going to be your champion going in up front of these events.
The 2026 champion junior showman goes to Cole Schindler. The plaque is sponsored by Defiance County Governor Golden Storage Club. Now, entering the ring is the beginner showmanship. Vanna Schroeder and Olivia Smith. On deck is the first class of PV showmanship. Dalton Mick, Denton Mick, Audrey Brown, Justin Troyer, Eva Mangus, Brantley Grant. In the hole, we need second class of PV, Chevy Garza, Brandon Stuckey, Cooper Meyer, Eloise Meyer, Bella Moser, and Ethan Johnson.
another great age division here. Let's give these kids a big round of applause. I think both of them do an awesome job. Both Raybo Sherman and when I started a long time ago. But kids have a really bright future. Again, just keep trying to keep improving. You know, as you get older, keep working with your calves. Can tell you for a lot of work in with them this summer. So I think it's very close between the pair. I do think the young lady up front just in time getting that calf stuck and presented and set up just a little more correct than the Herbert heifer. She's going to be our champion. And it was congratulations.
The 2026 champion beginner showmanship is David Schroeder. Now entering the ring is the first class of PE showmanship. The overall beginner showmanship plaque was sponsored by the HIX-TV 4-H Club.
Most important show of the fair here. All the young kids in the PE division doing an awesome job. But got a good group of them to continue to watch as they get older. I think the future is very bright here in terms of just showmanship ability. Let's give all these kids a big round of applause. Showing how great they got.
Showmanship entering here. Shaggy Garza, Bryn Stuckey,
What an awesome group of kids. Let's give them all a big round of applause. I think they've got a very bright future. It'll be fun to watch them as they go. But again, awesome job for all the kids. Great job, kids.
I gotta replace. I think I'm gonna need to replace the older field tractors in the studio. So that my new supplies will still keep the Legion, still use it as backup.
Well, like how we talked about having like a traffic light on the
now entering the ring, we have Class 3 Pee Wee Showmanship. On deck, we need the first class of 3 We have Madison Sprout, Aldrich Pace, Olivia Seelight, Faith Denman, Olivia Knight, and Natalie Sawyer. In the hole, we need Class 2 of reading, Aubrey Linder, Carter Price, Sasha Price, and Sean Schaefer.
So do I put together a proposal for a spec computer to build yourself? The approximate cost. And do that. Submit it.
I just want to have something small, more portable, or one thing I was seeing, really cool, it's called, he's setting up for the interview. Talking about possibility.
Another good group of them. Let's give all these kids a big round of applause for some awesome job from start to finish. Make sure you wave for mom and dad so you get some good pictures of it. It'd be funny to look at when you get to the seniors coming. But an awesome group again. Let's give them all a little big round of applause.
Entering the parade is the reading class with Madison Stroud, Audrey Pace, Olivia Zeeland, Faith Devlin, Olivia Knight, and Natalie Troy. On deck, we need the second class of the reading with Aubrey Linder, Carter Kreitz, Tasha Kreitz, and Cole Sherman. In the hall, we meet the first class of dairy feeders: Peyton Sierra, Ava Oakley, Tegan Holbrook, Graham Schrader, Elizabeth Seaver.
nice class. To start off the beating heifer show, I think young man saw a black heifer. I think two of them here on the top end, similar overall in their type and kind. There's just a little minor differences between the pair of them. I think the young man's just the stouter made, a bigger ended version of the one right behind him. I think that one's still got a good look. I'd love to see some more just center body and rib shape through this one. Hopefully that comes as that heifer continues to mature. I think a nice place to start. Black cat that's coming next, I think, again, rivals our class winner in terms of look and balance and eye appeal. Just not as much up this one right now in terms of body shape, in terms of foot size, and just circumference of bone at the ground, but still two very high quality ones. Hereford heifer coming next, a little greener in her condition, a little more behind just in terms of muscle and body, but the heifer's got a good look about her. She's overall sound in her structural build. Just need that heifer to have a little bit more time to continue to mature. Round us out with two sound made cattle that are both good in terms of their look. Just cattle need to be balanced up a little bit, need a little more just in terms of muscle and just body shape. But a good class, let's put our hands together for those kids.
The winner of Class 1 breeding is Fate Denver. Now entering the ring is Class 2 of breeding, Aubrey Limber, Parker Kreitz, Tasha Kreitz, and Cole Schindler. On deck, we meet the first class of the dairy feeders, Clayton Sierra, Ava Oakley, Tegan Woodward, Graham Schrader, and Elizabeth Seaver. And in the wall, we meet the second class of dairy feeders, Cannon Schrader, Oakley Schrader, Owen Yoder, Eric Johnson, and Eric Johnson.
Class, I think a ton of variation, and if you want to start really any of the first couple three, I wouldn't argue with you. I think just in terms of balance and presentation and look, especially here stopped from the side, I think young man's heifer has to win. Love that one's body shape, love her just natural stoutness and feature that she has at the ground. And again, when he gets her stopped and put together there, that look and presence here from the side is second to none in this particular group. I'll be first to admit this one's got to be sounder at the ground and just to compete at the next level. But I love that one's look, love her balance. I still think a very high quality one to start. start this class. Young ladies heifer coming next. I think a little more athletic, just in terms of her general stride. This one for me is just a little more uncoordinated and a little just less, attractive in the assembly of her back leg. But the heifer is definitely good, comfortable option. The heifer for me, just in terms of balance and look here from the side, she'll throw her tail head up, get a little off just in terms of the balance. But I still think a very high quality one to stand there second. Young ladies heifer coming third. I like a lot of things about just in terms of length of neck, her length of body, squareness of hip, and her rib shape just in terms of the center part of her body, specifically for her age, is very, very good. Heifer for me, really hard to get a read on her just based on her attitude. Really hard to see just kind of how she moves structurally. I think that heifer, when she calms down and gets to where she can show herself off to a high degree, I think that's going to be a very nice heifer on down the line. Just a little more difficult to get a read on it today. Young man that's going to round us out, got a big body, stout made one. This one just labors too much off either end of her skeleton. And again, one I like to balance up from the side. But a good breed. Let's put our hands together for those kids.
Your winner of Class 2 breeding is Cole Schindler. Now entering the ring is Class 1, first place and second place, Big Family and Madison Scrap. For Class 2, first place is Cole Schindler and second place is Clash of Colts.
Really good breeding heifer show. I think two very, very high quality class winners. We talked to them in class, and I think won the classes pretty handily just in terms of look and balance and cattle that still have some body. We talked to the young man's Bronco up heifer here up front. I love to make that one just sounder at the ground. Her angles and her comfort of her skeleton here on the stand is very, very good. I don't know if she's just a little sore-footed from being, at the fair, but you get her moving, she really gets to stride and moving out well. I think that heifer's a very, very high-quality one. Again, wish she just moved just a nickel better. I still think in this particular lineup and in the breeding heifer show as a whole, I do think that's the highest quality one. She's going to be our champion breeding heifer.
Grand champion beef female goes to Cole Schindler.
Bringing that second place heifer, and I think again fits right into the mix. That heifer is good in terms of her body shape. She's got some genuine spread and muscle shape about them. We talked to them in class, not quite the feature, not quite just the attractiveness of her hind leg here from the side. We talked her very comfortable in her overall skeleton. I do think that's the second highest quality one. She'll be your reserve. Congratulations.
Your reserve champion beef female is the Clash of Colts. The banners are sponsored by the large family short. Now entering is the first class of dairy feeders: Peyton Sierra, Ava Oakley, Tegan Holbrook, Graham Schrader, and Elizabeth Seaver. we need the second class of dairy feeders, Cannon Schrader, Oakley Schrader, Owen Yoder, and Eric Johnson. In the hole, we need the third class of dairy feeders, Weston Yoder, Dana Schroeder, Trace Healy, and Ike Webb.
Very nice calf here to start our first class of dairy feeders. I think just combining muscle and body and feature at the ground with a good look and a good presence about him, I think he wins this class rather handily. I think a very nice place to start. Young ladies calf that's going to be second, I think rivals our class under the most just in terms of genuine spread and genuine shape down his back. And when you get in behind the cattle, he's got some muscularity about him. Not quite as extreme as the calf that leads us off. Not quite the same level of balance or just look from the side. But I do think of the cattle remaining in this particular class, that one has to go second just based off muscle alone. Young man's calf coming next. Lightweight option that's good looking, good in terms of body shape. I thought his look from the side and balance was a nickel better than the cattle that are going to round us out. Young man's calf that's coming next, good body one, got a good look about him, a little more awkward and uncoordinated in terms of movement, a little off just in terms of muscularity. Then the young lady running us out, calf's got a good look, he's awesome through the center part of his body, he's just too frail at the top side of his skeleton, need that calf to be stouter all the way through. Good class, let's give those kids a round of applause.
Your winner of the first class of dairy feeders goes to Tegan Colbrook. Now entering the ring is the second class of lightweight dairy feeders, Cannon Schrader, Oakley Schrader, Owen Yoder, and Eric Johnson.
good class. I think what separates the top pair for me, you get off either end of both of these cattle. I think the one that just opens up with more spread and more true shape and dimension, young man's calf that's going to start us out. That one is better out of the backside of his shoulder. He's better out of the backside of his hip, more through the lower part of his quarter and stifle, and significantly deeper about just where his twist wants to attach. We could tweak that guy and just change him right out of the backside of his hip in terms of levelness. Partly because of that, I do think he's got more muscle there just from the side. I wish we could change that about him, but I still think a very, very high quality calf. Young man's calf that's going to come second. Bigger in terms of his center body, more square out of the backside of his hip. Don't think there's quite as much just true genuine shape to that one. Don't think that one's got quite as good a look here from the side just in terms of neck set and presence about them, but two really high quality ones. Young man's calf coming next. I think of the remaining three, that one's his body and muscle, gets him in the place where he's at. You compare him to the cattle ahead of him, he doesn't have quite the same look and eye appeal from the side. Young man's calf that's coming up next, a good looking one that's level about his back. Calf for me a little awkward and uncoordinated about where he wants to go with his movement. A little more fragile just in the way that one's assembled. And then around us out, young lady does an awesome job getting the cattle presented. This calf for me is just the lightest in terms of his muscle shape. He was stout and that one up at the ground in terms of feature. But a good group. Let's put our hands together for those kids.
Your winner of the second class of dairy feeders goes to Owen Yoder. Second place is Cannon Schroeder. Third place is Eric Johnson. Fourth place is Oakley Schroeder. And fifth place is Eric Johnson. Now entering the ring is the winner of the first class of lightweights, Tegan Holbrook. And the second class winner, Owen Yoder. On deck is first class of middleweights, Weston Yoder, Vanna Schroeder, Trey Schooley, and Ike Webb. In the war is middleweight class 6, Carly Fishpaw, Peyton Sierra, Eliza Webb, and Innovation North.
For the division of lightweight dairy feeders, I think two very, very high quality class winners and beat some very, very nice cattle in their particular classes. I think it's close between the pair of them out here. I think one of them for me is just a little stouter, just everywhere honestly. Stouter stalled, stouter down through his jawline, bigger in terms of his forearm, bigger in terms of his feature at the ground. And you get off either end of this one, I think he's just a stouter, more opened up option of the two. Young man out of our second class is going to be the champion. Congratulations.
The champion lightweight dairy feeder goes to Owen Yoder. The banner is sponsored by Dwayne Apple. Now entering the ring is second place, Cannon Schroeder.
I think it's a little bit closer for reserve for me. A young man was second in that particular class. I do think rivaled that class winner and eventual division winner pretty hard in that group. I think you compare him to the calf right ahead of him. I think, again, this one's just got a little bit more to him in terms of center body, a little stouter in terms of muscularity, a little bigger at the ground in terms of foot and bone. He's going to be a reserve for that.
Your reserve champion lightweight dairy feeder goes to Cannon Schroeder. ring is the first class of middleweight. Rusty Newman, Dana Schrader, Trace Cooley, and Ike Webb. On deck, we have middleweight class 6, Carly Fishpaw, Peyton Sierra, Eliza Webb, and Olivia Schindler. In the hole, we need heavyweight class Olivia Schindler, Trace Cooley, Sarah Bach, and Ike Webb.
Good class, runaway class winner for me, young man's calf here. I think just a really nice calf. That one's body, his muscularity, his look, and still being good in terms of his structural building. That's a pretty special animal. Young lady's calf that's going to come second. I think just in terms, you throw our runaway class winner out of the group and then just compare the rest of them to themselves. I think this calf, in amongst the others in this group, just in terms of muscularity and look and balance, I think that's the second best option in this particular class. Young lady does a nice job. The calf's awesome in terms of the structural build. Again, you compare them directly to the gorilla that leads the class out. I don't think that one's got just quite enough to him. Young man's calf that's coming third, I think, again, another really high quality one. This one a little more awkward in terms of the set to his hip from the side, a little more uncoordinated in terms of his movement. Young man's calf that's going to come next, a good looking one, good in terms of body, just need more muscle. And then the black heifer that's going to round this out, good body, again, one a little plainer in her overall look, a little frailer in her feature there at the ground. But a good group, awesome class winner. Let's put our hands together for those kids.
Middleweight, Carly Fishpaw, Peyton Sierra, Eliza Webb, and Olivia Schindler. The winners of middleweight class 1 was Ike Webb, and second place was Veda Schrader.
This is the second middleweight. They'll come first and they'll bring out the first middleweight and they'll pick the overall middleweight. They'll have one group of heavyweight.
On deck, we have heavyweight class 1, Olivia Schindler, Trace Cooley, Sarah Bach, and Ike Webb.
So that will be on Beef here, Gary Spears, and I'll have you over there. Try to read that close. 64 yards.
Really good class. I think honestly probably the closest pair of them that we've seen all day. And if you want to flip-flop them, I think it's close, and I think it's open for at least an argument. For me, young ladies red and white steer, I think just in terms of leanness and muscularity, that calf's significantly more aggressive about the turn and shape to his lower quarter and cycle. You get off either end of this guy, I think he's square through the floor of his chest. I think he's better right there through his twist, and still ties that together with a really high quality look. I think that one's just genuine turn and shape when you get off the quarter or three-quarter view is what allows him to win. I think it's close because I love to fix this guy right out of the backside of his hip, and I love to just stab him up at the ground in terms of foot and bone. But in terms of muscularity, in terms of balance, and still having a good look, I think that's a nice place to start. Young lady's calf that's going to come second. Again, not going to argue with you. This one's bigger in terms of foot. He's better in terms of just his size of bone, and I love that about him. This calf for me, you get off either end, he's just a little flatter in his overall look. Not quite as expressive in terms of his turn and his spread to that one's muscularity, but still I think a very, very high quality calf to be second. Yeah, the young exhibitors of 3 and 4, nothing to take away from them. Put a lot of work in with their projects. Young man's calf that's coming next, I think it's the better looking, better balanced one of the two. You compare him to the two ahead of him, that calf needs to have more muscle. And then we got round us out with a really big body one, just a little frailer at the ground, a little flatter in the overall shape. Good class, I think a really nice top pair. Congratulations.
The winner of Class 2 middleweight goes to Eliza Webb. Olivia Sugar was in second, Peyton Sierra third, and Chloe Fishball fourth. Now entering the ring is middleweight Class 1 winner Ike Webb and middleweight Class 2 winner Eliza Webb. On deck is Barry Feeder's heavyweight class, Olivia Schindler, Trace Swilling, Sarah Bach, and Ike Webb.
Awesome division of middleweights. If you guys would, let's give all of our exhibitors a big round of applause. A couple really good classes. I just particularly think that last class, very deep and very good, specifically in those top two. In between this group, amongst them, I think you can drive a long way not finding Derek Peter that looks like the young man's up front. He's going to be your champion. Red and white one's going to be reserved. Congratulations.
Champion middleweight Derek Peter goes to Ike Webb. His banner is sponsored by the Bill Webb family. And your reserve middleweight Derek Peter goes to Eliza Webb. Now entering the ring is heavyweight Class 1, Olivia Schindler, Trace Cooley, Sarah Bach, and Ike Webb. On deck will be the first class of beef eaters. Katie Sauber, Aubrey Linder, Brandon Better, Carissa Moser, and Cole Sugar. In the hold we need middleweight class of the beef eaters, Alder Case, Parker Kreitz, Kendra Better, Katie Sauber, Aubrey Linder, and Tasha Kreitz.
So we're usually heavyweights. I think there's 2 heavyweights in this one. There's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'll be a tough because it's class 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, it's this class 12. But so do this one, and they'll bring out the other two, and then they'll pick the third dairy steers. And do the dairy steers, and then we'll just bring out the 3 champions, or maybe 4 or whatever, and then do that when we're done. Cool.
Done.
Maybe. We'll see.
Another very good top pair here in our only class of heavyweights, and again, I think it's very close between them. Both cattle, we could tweak up front just in terms of presence and look about their head and neck, but from shoulder back, I think the more muscular, the more robust one in terms of just spread and dimension is the young man's calf right in front of me. Specifically from this angle right here, you just look to the turn of that one's rump and his quarter and stifle. More genuine shape, more genuine dimension in that guy. Again, love to tweak him up through his front end, but still a very, very high quality one to win this class and be our champion heavyweight. One lady that's going to come second, again, showing a ton of very high quality cattle today. Commend her on the job well done. Showmanship is very, very good. This young cow, or this calf for me, just in terms of foot size and dimension, love that guy in terms of his bone. Again, another one, I'd love to tweak up there to his front end and just trim him up there underneath of his chin. Calf, again, is not as aggressive in terms of his muscularity, not as wide in terms of dimension. Young lady's brown Swiss that's coming next. Good looking one that's big in terms of foot and bone, just not the same level of muscle. And then young man's going to round us out. Got a big body one, sound at the ground in terms of comfort and athleticism. Again, well, we just need to scout him up, give that calf more in terms of body, give him more in terms of muscle. But a good class, let's put our hands together again for those kids.
Heavyweight dairy feeder goes to Eichler. His banner is sponsored by Doug and Deanna Zimmerman. Your reserve champion heavyweight dairy feeder went to Olivia Schindler. Now entering the ring is lightweight champion Owen Yoder, middleweight champion Ike Black, and heavyweight champion Ike Black.
awesome set of dairy feeders. Let's put our hands together and give these kids a big round of applause. Three awesome division winners. I think 3 cattle that beat some very, very nice cattle, not only in their division, but in their respective classes. So commend all you kids on just putting in the good hard work this summer, bringing a very, very fun group to the fair for me to evaluate. It was, I think a couple years ago, Judge the Open Show down here and was blown away by the quality specifically of the dairy feeders. So I knew when I was coming there was going to be good ones. Didn't really think they were going to be quite this level of quality that we've seen today. So again, I commend you guys. Kids, keep up the good work. For me, I don't think it's very close out here. I think there's an absolute beast that stands between a couple of them. Young man out of our middleweights is going to be the champion. Congratulations.
The grand champion overall dairy feeder goes to Ike Webb. The banner is sponsored by Clark Stanley Farm.
Bringing the reserve division, I think it gets awfully close. Nothing to take away from the young man's lightweight cap up there. But I think our reserve middle and our champion heavyweight, again, both very high quality ones. I think one for me just a little stouter, a little better out of the backside of his hip. I think the young man had a runaway winner here. I think he's got the second best one too. Congratulations to him.
The reserve champion overall dairy feeder goes to Ike Webb. The banner is sponsored by Buckeye Producers Storage Farm. Now entering the ring is the first class of beef feeders. Kaden Sauber, Aubrey Limber, Raylan Fetter, Carissa Mosier, and Paul Schindler. On deck, we need first class of middleweight beef feeders, Audrey Case, Parker Kite, Kendra Vetter, Cadence Sauber, Aubrey Linder, and Tasha Price. In the hole, we need the first class of heavyweight, Cole Schindler, Grant Sluppy, and Cameron Price.
Good class here to start our feeders. I think a really nice class running here to start us out. That thing's look and his balance here from the side is honestly really good. Love him in terms of his foot size. I think that calf's still very comfortable and athletic. I think obviously still green in his condition, but very very young calf. I expect that. I think that calf's going to continue to mature and get better. I think a very high quality place to start in this particular class. Blue Roan one that's going to come next, rivals our class winner the most just in terms of feature and stoutness at the ground. That calf's good in terms of his look. Don't think quite the same just level of presence or eye appeal from the side as our class winner. Going down, there's got quite as much just genuine turn and shape, specifically when you get right on top of them. But sound made, good body one. Again, another one that's green, going to continue to get better as that one matures. Young man's calf coming in third, good in terms of muscularity, probably a little stouter, more muscular than the calf that goes right in front of him. A calf for me, I'd love to redesign him and just make his shoulder sit on the side of his body wall a little better, let all that kind of flow and just blend. Hopefully that comes with more feed and condition and size. I think that calf's got quality, I think he's got look, just comes in a couple different pieces today. Heifer that's going to come next, a good looking one that's awesome in terms of just her structural build. You look at this one and compare him to the cattle right ahead of him, not quite as much of this one. Need to stouten her up at the ground, give her more in terms of just true body, more in terms of true shape. Not a problem with the calf that's going to round us out. This one's awesome in terms of his body, huge in terms of his muscularity, just a little off in terms of that one's look and balance. Need to trim him up and just give him a better show ring look here to compete with those cattle ahead of him. Good class. I think a really nice class winner. Congratulations.
Champion lightweight beef feeder goes to Aubrey Linder. Her banner is sponsored by the Defiance Township Association, and her reserve champion lightweight beef feeder goes to Raymond Vetter. Third was to Cole Schindler, fourth was Cadence Sauber, and fifth was Kirsten Moser. Entering the ring now is beef feeders middleweight class 1. Audra Case, Parker Price, Kendra Vetter, Cadence Sauber, Aubrey Linder, and Tasha Price. On deck, we need beef feeders heavyweight class 1, Cole Schindler, Grant Stuckey, Taylor Price. In the hole, we need heavyweight class 2, Raymond Vetter, Faith Denman, and Grant Stuckey.
push.
Good class. I think 2 or 3 really high quality ones. Young ladies black cap we're going to start with. I think that one combines the most good in terms of just structural build, athleticism. The cat's got an awesome look about his front end and still has some genuine muscle in shape, and you get right in behind him. I love to tweak that guy in terms of the angle to his shoulder. He wants to get just a nickel straight up front, but that look, that presence, and the balance I think is undeniable in this particular class. Red cap that's coming next, big muscle, big body, awesome in terms of foot size and bone. I think that cap's better about the angle to his shoulder. I like to tweak this guy just a set to his hock, square him up just a shade and you get right in behind him. You don't know just truly how big that cap's going to get at a mature, heavyweight steel kind of size, but still a very, very good looking one that's got muscle, got body. Cap that's going to come third, probably the biggest body one in the class, and honestly, probably a little too big body just in terms of the way it affects the rest of him. Gets a little weak behind his shoulder, just throws off his overall balance from the side, which is how big that one's belly is. Again, I love to stack him up and you get right in behind him and make him go with just a little more comfort and athleticism. Gray heifer that's coming next, I think very attractive in her look. I think the heifer's got muscle. One for me, just a little more off in terms of her general neck set. I think that one needs a tick more, just genuine body shape and swoop to that one's middle bit. Black calf that's coming next, I think green in this condition. I think that calf's good in terms of muscularity, good in terms of body shape. A little awkward in just the way he's assembled right now. The calf comes in a few too many pieces today. I do think that calf's got some good attributes that with some more time can get very, very good on down the line. Just again, a little piece here today. And then we're going around the south, 2 young kids doing an awesome job. Cattle for me just need to be stouter, need to be better looking to compete with those ones ahead of them. Good group of them, let's put our hands together for those kids.
The champion middleweight beef feeder is the Albany Liver. The banner is sponsored by Jim and Susie Connor family. The reserve champion middleweight beef feeder went to Hunter Battle. Now entering the ring is first class of heavyweight beef feeders. Cole Schindler, Eric Stuckey, and Fanning Kravitz. On deck, we need the second class of heavyweight, Raymond Vetter, Faith Denman, and Grant Stuckey. In the hole, we need the third class of heavyweights, Levi Mavis, Jacob Saylor, Madison Stroud, and Julia Hurt.
to the class. I think two very nice ones here on the top end of this class. Young ladies calf we're going to start with, I think is the better looking, better body, more muscular option of the two. Still good in terms of this one's just structural build and athleticism. I think a very high quality one here to start with this class. Come men's gold heifer is going to be second. Love the presentation, love the look on this heifer. Done an awesome job getting her ready and presented here at the show. Calf for me is just a little more awkward in that one's general movement. A little rounder off either end of her skeleton. Love to pick her up in her pink bones and just level her out through her hip. And I don't think there's quite as much muscle as a steer. We started out with, well known that one's a heifer, just judging based on the show today. Young man is on the right side, another heifer, got a great project here for the young man. That one's sound built, she's good body, just a little plainer in her overall look, a little further in her feet check down. Good class, let's put our hands together again for those kids.
Your heavyweight class 1 winner was Caitlin Price. Second was Cole Schindler, and third was Grant Stuckey. Now entering the ring is heavyweight class 2, Raylan Vetter, Faith Denlin, and Grant Stuckey. On deck, we need heavyweight class 3, Levi Mavis, Jacob Saylor, Madison Sprout, and Amelia Hurd.
Nice class. I think two high quality ones here on the top end, a little different than their type and kind. Young ladies calf that's going to win, I think, in terms of balance and presence. Cattle that's still good in terms of structural build. I think that calf does have some muscle to him. I like the softening right there through the center part of his body, but I do think that one is the most comfortable just in terms of movement and projection into a fat steer. Heavily muscled, really big bone kind of a calf that comes next. A little rounder in his overall look, a little bigger, just broader, right there through his shoulder. Love to tweak that one through the crest of his neck. Good body, sound structured one, a little further at the ground, a little lighter in terms of just his muscle shape. Good class. Again, let's put our hands together for those kids.
Your heavyweight class 2 winner was Raylan.
All right, we'll see ya.
Have
fun. Drive safe.
Now entering the ring is Defiance heavyweight.
I guess let me know our film schedule.
Yeah.
After next week.
Text me if and when you're available later in the week, or I'll let you know what we're going to do next week, starting on the 31st.
Sounds good.
All right.
On deck, we need the first class of Dairy Harvest steers. Renee Bach, Eric Johnson, Cameron Schrader, and Zoe Jones. In the bowl, we need Dairy Harvest steer class 2, Zoe Jones, Renee Bach, and Eric Johnson.
Nice class, very comfortable. My class winner here, big body, good looking kind of a calf that's still got some muscle. Calf gives you an awesome and very striking look here from the side. The young man gets him stopped and presented. I like that calf structure long term as well. I think that calf's one you can feed on and push pretty good and yet still maintain his comfort and athleticism in a very nice place to start. Young lady's calf that's going to come second. Awesome body, good looking one. Don't think there's quite as much just genuine turn and shape to this guy as our class winner. One for me again, I like to just tweak him just in terms of look and balance directly compared to our class winner. But I do think that's a very high quality calf that covers a lot of basics. I think that calf's again big body, sound made, just needs to be stouter. Shorthorn marked one coming next. I think a good looking calf. This calf does have some muscle about him. Calf for me a little more awkward in his movement. I like to change that one just assembly through his shoulder. I think that calf's better looking and more balanced than the calf that's going to round us out. This one's huge muscle. He's awesome in terms of body shape. This calf for me just a little crespier about his neck, a little quicker in his maturity pattern. Need to lay that one shoulder on him, just making everything blend just a shade better. But an awesome feeding one. Young lady's going to have a fun project on down the line. Let's put our hands together for those kids.
Your class 3 heavyweight winner goes to Levi Mavis. Madison Squad got second. Now in the ring is first place exhibitors for class 10, 11, and 12. Kaylin Kreitz, Raymond Vetter, and Levi Mavis.
Very good division. Let's give these kids a big round of applause. Three very, very high quality class winners. I think for me there's one that combines look and balance and still a very sound and athletic package. I think of the three cattle out here, this one I'm the most comfortable with, just structurally long term. I think the young man of our last class is going to be your champion. Congratulations.
Your grand champion heavyweight series goes to Levi Mavis. The banner is donated by Matt and Alexis Smith.
Nice second place tap to our champion. I think he fits right into the mix. I think there's one out here for me that ran with our division winner pretty good. He's a little different just in terms of size and maturity. I do think he's the second highest quality one. I think lady out of our first class is going to be reserved for best.
Your reserve champion heavyweight beefeater is the Kaylin Price. Now entering the ring are your first place champions. Aubrey Linder is the lightweight champion. Middleweight is also Aubrey Linder, and heavyweight is Levi Mavis.
Very good defeaters show. I think three very nice division winners. I think cattle that are good today, but I think most importantly project out and will make nice fat steers on down the line. I think, again, with all the quality, I do think there's a pretty clear-cut winner in this particular lineup. One man out of our last division is going to be the champion. Congratulations.
Your grand champion overall beefeater goes to Levi Mavis. The banner is sponsored by Robari Stanley Shorthands. We need Kaylin Price in the shower, please.
reserve heavy gets out here. I think gets him right in the mix. Again, I think a little closer here for reserve. I'll put the mic down, get you a reserve. One more time. Let's give all of our Beef Beater kids a big round of applause.
Your reserve champion overall beef beater is the Defiance. Her banner is sponsored by Jim and Agnes Timbrook. Now entering the ring is the first class of Dairy Market steers. Renee Bach, Eric Johnson, Kaden Schrader, and Zoe Billings. On deck, we need Dairy Market steer class 2, Zoe Billings, Renee Bach, and Eric Johnson. In the middle, we need the third class of Dairy Market steers. Ethan Gopher, Weston Gilbert, Sammy Davis, Ethan Gopher, and Weston Gilbert.
Nice class here to start out our very steer show. Young ladies cap that's going to win, I think, in terms of muscularity, in terms of body, in terms of feature at the ground, and blending all those characteristics into still a good-looking package. I think that cap has to win this particular class. I think that's a nice cap to start our show. Red white one is coming next. First impression, that cap will give you just a little bit of a plainer look than the cap that leads us off. And I think that's why he's second. He's a little frailer at the ground. He's a little just plainer up front in terms of look and presence. But of the remaining cattle, I think in terms of market readiness, in terms of muscularity, I do think that's the second stoutest one in this particular class. They really does a nice job getting him presented. Black and white cap that's going to come third. I love this one's look. This one's up-headed. He's got a natural presence about him. He's dead level about his back and square out of the back side of his hip. This one just needs to be stouter. He's too peaked at the top side of the skeleton, too flat and too narrow in terms of just base width, but a good-looking one. Young man does a nice job. Then we're around the south, little buddy that's going to come next. Big body cap, that's good in terms of look. One for me just needs to be stouter, needs to have more muscle in it. But a good class, let's put our hands together for those kids.
Your champion lightweight winner this year goes to Zoe Billings. The reserve champion lightweight dairy steer goes to Renee Bach. The banner for the champion is sponsored by Carpet Unlimited. Now entering the ring is first class of middleweight dairy market steers Zoe Billings, Renee Bach, and Aaron Johnson.
Nice class. I think all three cattle are probably just a tick more in terms of just genuine shape and spread to them. I think from the side in terms of just condition and market readiness and having that kind of back steer look, I think the red and white one here does that to the highest degree. He's got balance, he's awesome body. Again, perfect world, standing up at the ground, giving more when you get right in behind him. But I think in this class, that one's just the most, combines the most good of the one particular package. The ladies cap that's coming next, a long extended one, very sound and athletic as he gets out and moseys around the ring here. A cap for me a little more awkward in the way it's assembled. That cap needs to be stouter and just doesn't have that same level, that same softness to his center body that it almost starts us out with. Young man that's going to round us out again does an awesome job. This cap's long, he's extended, he's good in terms of his look. This cap's just too narrow, he's too flat. Needs more muscle wrapped up into that guy. That airman does an awesome job. Let's give him all a big round of applause.
The champion middleweight dairy steer is to Renee Bach. The banner is sponsored by Carpet Unlimited. The reserve champion middleweight dairy steer goes to Zoe Billings. Now entering the ring is heavyweight class 1 of the dairy market steer Ethan Gilbert, Weston Yoder, Sandy Mavis, Ethan Gilbert, and Weston Yoder.
good class. I think some variation here on the top end. I think a young ladies cap is going to start us off just combining the most good in terms of look, balance, body. I do think that's the heaviest muscle cap in the class. I think that's the stoutest feature, best in terms of its forearm, and just gives you the best overall look here from the side. I think a nice cap to start. Then ladies cap in second. I don't think this one's quite as heavy duty as our class runner in terms of foot and bone. I love the way this cap balances up and looks here from the side. This one we could stout him up just a shade. I do think his look and balance and his eye appeal is better than the young man's cap in third. Young man's cap in third, big body, good in terms of muscularity. That cap's a little rounder out of his hip, a little more forward in his shoulder. Just as everything would blend and piece together a little bit better, but I think a very high quality third place cap. Two young exhibitors that are going to round us out. Got some big outlined, heavy duty ones. Cattle that need to be stouter, need more muscle, and just need to be better looking in terms of their balance and presence. So a good class. Let's put our hands together for those kids.
Your champion heavyweight dairy steer goes to Sammy Davis. The banner is donated by Jeff and Kathy Hawkesbury family. The reserve champion heavyweight dairy steer goes to Ethan Gilbert. Now entering the ring is lightweight winner Zoe Billings, middleweight winner Renee Boggs, and heavyweight winner Sammy Davis.
Very pleased with our three division winners out here in our Dairy Steer show. Kids to be very proud of the projects they've worked on throughout the year, and I commend you guys for all the hard work. It's a long project. It takes a lot of time and effort and money to get these things to this point. So even getting them to the show and getting them to the county fair, you guys have done an awesome job. Very pleased with the quality. I think it's close between a couple of them. Let's give them all a big round of applause. All done with the grand result.
Grand champion overall market dairy steer goes to Sammy Davis. The banner is very ribbon and donated by Brian and Krista Schroeder.
Okay, I see him now.
And your reserve champion overall market dairy steer goes to Ethan Gilbert. His banner is very ribbon and donated by Henderson Farms. Now entering the ring is the first class of beef market steers. Kaylin Kreitz and Natalie Schiller.
get to our last show of the night, and only 2 steers here, but 2 very high quality ones, and I commend both you kids for sticking these projects out and getting these things to the fair. Not an easy project at all. It takes a ton of time and effort and financial help to get these cattle to where they are. So again, I very much commend you guys for getting to this point. Really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come and give you my opinion on them. All day, thank you guys for supporting these kids. The kids have been great, giving never a bad look, never sour about their placing. Just a great group of kids, and it's been an awesome time every time I've come up here. As far as these 2 cattle go, I think it's very close between them. I think the gray steer up front, awesome looking. That calf's awesome about just his presence and balance here from the side. That calf handles good in terms of condition, yet he's still fresh in his handle. He's firm to the touch, yet finished and ready to go to market. Critiques of him, I think this calf, we could loosen him up off either end of his skeleton, just relaxing through the angle to his shoulder and let him go with more comfort off of his rear too. But I do love that thing's look. I love his balance. The young lady's done an awesome job. Black steer here, I think, again, very, very high quality. This calf probably takes it to another level in terms of muscularity, in terms of rib shape. This calf's probably a nickel more athletic in terms of the way he gets out and goes. I don't think he's perfect in just his athleticism either. And I don't think this calf has quite just the elevation and the look up front of the calf right ahead of him. So those are my thoughts on them. Again, thank you guys for the opportunity. Thank you for coming out and supporting these kids. I know it's not at all about listening to me. It's about giving these kids a good time. So let's fire it up one more time. Give these kids an awesome round of applause. I'll go and get you around as those two.
The grand champion overall market beef steer goes to Natalie Schroyer. The banner is sponsored by Whippoorwillows Storage Club. And your reserve champion overall market beef steer goes to Kaylin Phelps. Her banner is sponsored by Miami Explorer Storage Club.
And with that, we'll rejoin you back here in the bleachers at the show arena as we have wrapped up the beef show for 2026. And again, congratulations to all of the reserve champion winners throughout this afternoon. And again, best wishes to all of the competitors. They all did just a fantastic job, and a great way to get our live fair coverage underway here on Hicksville Community Television on the HIX-TV YouTube channel. We've got the beef show in the books, and coming up tomorrow, we'll be back here in the show arena, same time, 5 p.m. It'll be the 2026 Swine Show coming your way, and we'll have live coverage for you right here again on the HIX-TV YouTube channel. And as we move throughout the week, again, we've got the Swine Show tomorrow. We'll be on the Senior Fair side of things on Monday for the 4-H parade, the parade of antique tractors, and the annual parade of marching bands. Then on Tuesday, we'll be here at the show arena Tuesday morning for the sheep show. On Wednesday, we'll do our weekly HIX-TV live update from here at the fairgrounds, followed by the Animal and Me show here at the show arena at 4:30 in the afternoon. And then at 7 o'clock, we'll have the mutton busting coming your way from here at the show arena. Thursday, we'll take the day off, and on Friday, we'll be back here at the show arena bright and early 9 a.m. for the annual livestock sale to wrap up our fair coverage for the 2026 Defiance County Fair. And of course, also next week, don't forget, we'll have girls high school volleyball action coming away Tuesday night, and we'll have high school football action coming away Friday night here on the HIX-TV YouTube channel as well. So as we get to wrap things up, again, I want to say a few quick thank yous. First off, the Junior Fair Board has asked us to say a big thanks to the SMTA, obviously. They provide the wireless internet that we utilize for the live streams here in the show arena and throughout the fairgrounds. Big thank you to them. Also, Current Office Solutions, they do the photocopying and printing services here at the fairground. And Brittany Ashton of AC Livestock Services, she is the meal sponsor for the Junior Fair Board members. I also want to thank our HIX-TV underwriters for making our coverage possible from out here at the fairgrounds this year. They include, as I mentioned, the Junior Fair Board here in Defiance County, Teresa Johnson, and we want to thank them so very much for helping underwrite with some underwriting support. A big thank you to the Fat Pig Restaurant in downtown Hicksville, Ohio. They also have their food truck here on the fairgrounds. It's located over by the the big grandstand, just across from where the donuts are sold and everything. That side of the fairgrounds are going to be here all week with great fair specials on their food truck, and also fair specials at the restaurant in the downtown Hicksville. They're open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week. And again, they're going to have great fair specials. And throughout the week, they've also given me some gift cards I'm going to be handing out from time to time while we're out here at the Defiance County Fair throughout this week's run of the fair as well. And a big thank you to the Hicksville Rotary Club, dedicated to supporting good causes throughout the Hicksville community. The Hicksville Rotary Club, the Hicksville Rotary Foundation that helps out businesses and groups and organizations, and of course the annual scholarship programs they give out to graduating seniors each and every year. Proud to be supporting our live coverage of the 2026 Defiance County Fair. The Hicksville Rotary Club, they meet every Tuesday from noon until 1 at the United Methodist Church. And if you're interested in learning more about becoming a member of the Rotary, helping out your community, by all means, just ask any Rotarian for any information. And that includes this year's president, Jim Seiler, of Michael Barth, the mayor of Hicksville, and yours truly as well. We'll all be happy to help you out. So thanks again to all of the underwriters, and most of all, thanks to the Junior Fair Board for inviting us out here, and to all of you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the live stream coverage here on HIX-TV's YouTube channel on this Saturday evening. So with that, going to wrap things up. Once again, we'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same YouTube channel, 5 o'clock. It'll be the Swine Show coming your way from here at the show arena. So hope that we will see you and talk to you again then. And until that time, have a great time here at the 2026 Defiance County Fair. And aside from that, take care, stay safe, and I'll be talking to you again real soon right here on HIX-TV.